has a new champion in the women's singles division. All rise and salute Elena Rybakina. She has beaten Aryna Sabalenka in a three-setted final that, truth be told, everyone was expecting that she would lose because Sabalenka was the talk of the town prior to the Grand Slam, and everyone expected that once she made it to the finals that she would be doing a three-peat of Australian Open titles. Remember, this is the same Sabalenka who's won the Grand Slam in not only 2024 but 2025, and everyone was expecting that she would just make it a three-peat because she ended up getting an slightly easier opponent than many would have expected in the final. However, that wasn't to be. Rybakina is in fact the champion, despite the fact that, as I said, she's had to overcome a fair amount of odds in this particular final because Rybakina was not, by any stretch of the imagination, the overwhelming favorite. That was Sabalenka. However, the fact that Rybakina was keen on writing a very different script was evident as early as the first set itself, in which she went 6-4 up. Now, the fact that she took the first set in itself meant that Sabalenka would have to win the next two sets on the trot to have any chance of winning this particular Grand Slam final. It would have, of course, been a fifth Grand Slam title for Sabalenka. She's won 4 singles titles prior to this, 2 of which have come in Australia and 2 of which have come in the US Open. However, she did manage to win the second set, Sabalenka that is, but Rybakina actually came back from even better odds in the third set, which at one point in time looked like it was going to be all about Sabalenka. Don't forget, Sabalenka was 3-1 up. From 3-1 up, and she was, if she had to actually hold on to her serve from that point in time, that's all she had to do, she would have been the one hoisting the trophy over her head. However, from 3-1 up, it actually reached a point where Sabalenka was trailing 4-3. So she actually dropped multiple games. In fact, it went to from 4-3 to 5-3. So it was basically that close. And then once Sabalenka held on to her serve, it just delayed the inevitable by one more game. Rybakina did well to hold on to her own serve, and that is it. That's all she wrote. The Australian Open, as I said, has a new women's singles champion. Now, it is worth noting that this isn't a first-time Grand Slam for Rybakina. She has won one Grand Slam title in the singles before. That is, of course, the 2022 Wimbledon, which she ended up winning, but nothing since that point in time. She's been waiting very patiently to add a second Grand Slam title to her name. And what better way to win it than by beating the current world number 1 and outright favorite to actually win this particular tournament. As I said, for Rybakina, it's a massive, massive win because not only is it her second Grand Slam, overall also this could very well be that sort of a game which could potentially help propel her career. Again, she's been kind of start-stop as far as how it is that this particular, her tennis career has gone. But now she's won 2 Grand Slams. 2022 prior to this was the only time that she had won a Grand Slam, and that time she had defeated Ons Jabeur to actually get that particular title. But other than that, her showings in Grand Slams have been largely mixed. Aside from Wimbledon, she had 2 final appearances, including this one in the Australian Open. But beyond that, in the French Open, the best she's done is make it to the quarters. And in the US Open, the best she's done is make it to the 4th round. So Rybakina is one of those players whose potential is fairly evident, but for whom she's never been able to be regularly consistent to actually be a threat. I mean, Sabalenka too, you can say she's missed multiple golden opportunities to win slams. Even last year, she won, there were 2 finals which she lost in very inexplicable circumstances. I'm of course referring to Wimbledon and the French Open. In both, she was the clear favorite, and in both, she ended up actually falling short. But she's still a 4-time Grand Slam champion, Sabalenka. For Rybakina, the only Grand Slam which came was nearly 4 years prior, so the fact that she could win this one, obviously a good achievement for her, dethroning Sabalenka, who had established something of a reputation as really enjoying playing in the hard courts of Australia. She had won the last 2 Grand Slam singles titles in women's prior to this, and as I said, was expected to be the favorite heading into this particular final as well. But Rybakina had other plans. So congratulations to Rybakina. As for Sabalenka, well, she would doubtless be wondering how it is that she lost out in this particular match, given at one point she was 3-1 up. But to go from 3-1 up to trailing 5-3, it shows that she did lose her head a little bit. Either she got overconfident or she got overwhelmed by the occasion. She started playing the occasion instead of the match. And, well, that's what happened. Rybakina kept her cool, stayed composed, kept doing the basics right, and ended up getting those key break points that helped her not only actually get back on level terms but also establish a 5-3 lead. So good on her. Congratulations to Rybakina, and that brings to an end one side of the main draw as far as the singles are concerned. The men's singles is tomorrow on Sunday. That will of course be between Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. Should be a very fun final for Djokovic. If he wins, he ends up completing 25 Grand Slams, an unprecedented feat in tennis. And if Carlos Alcaraz wins it, then he ends up becoming the first or the youngest ever player to complete a career Grand Slam. He's won Wimbledon, he's won the French Open, and he's won the US Open. Yet to taste any glory in Australia, but that could change tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll cover that match live as well. But thank you guys so much right now for joining us on this particular video. As always, if you enjoy our work, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.